Hi there, Logic Language Learners. This is a video that was, I thought I had one floating around on the word E, the letter Y in French, but I haven't been able to find it. So this was kindly requested by the lovely, let me check, Andrea. Hi Luke, I'm trying to find a video on the use of E in phrases like allez-y. I think it's in that. Have you done a lesson on this? If so, please could you send me the link? By the way, I think your videos are awesome. Well, I think you're awesome, Andrea, for saying that, so thank you. Right, so I'm sure I have, but I'm just going to do a fresh one anyway. So, I'm going to talk about E, and then I'm going to leave you some links underneath to some websites that talk about it as well, because for once, although I very much push a sound method, sound as in sound that you can hear rather than, you know, sound as in of quality, I think it will do you guys some good to have a little bit of a read about this one as well. Also though, can I stress, like anything else you do in your French, do not sit and read, do not sit and listen to people talk about this, including my video, without pressing pause and copying what we're saying. Get it into the muscle memory of your mouth, otherwise it will not do anything. Your mouth will you'll just be more confused. You'll just have all the different possibilities in your mouth at the same time. Right, so let's talk about E. E is a pronoun, and if you've been watching my videos you should be very comfortable with pronouns. Pronouns are where we replace another word or words. So for example, I see John, I see him. Him is replacing the word John. Now, you know that what I have to say about pronouns. I say bits before verbs, unless there's an infinitive. So for example, I see John, I see him, je le vois, or je vais le voir. I'm going to see him. So this will be the same for E. Okay, so let's not be confused there. E, when being used as the pronoun, will go in that order. So what does E mean? It generally, most commonly, comes to your attention as a French learner when you use it to replace the word there. And the word there, can I stress, is là, but with a grave accent on the A, like à Paris, okay? So it's like the LA with a grave accent. It's not just LA, that would be female the. So it's often used in verbs where you are going to somewhere. So for example, je vais à Paris, j'y vais. Okay, and all of these examples will be typed in the links I'm giving you underneath in the description. So I'm going to Paris, j'y vais, je vais à Paris, or I'm going there, j'y vais. I'm going to go there, je vais aller là, je vais y aller, okay? So that is the word order first and foremost. When we type it, okay, it functions like a vowel in that we would lose the E on the je before it, okay? We wouldn't do that with the tu. Think of it like a vowel. So if I said you like, I'd say tu aimes. In slang French, I'd say t'aimes, which is fine in slang French as long as you know that it is in slang French. So for example, t'y vas would be slang for tu y vas. So it doesn't work like the je. Also, like thinking of it as a vowel, if you had we like, nous allons. So we go, we like, whatever, nous allons, nous aimons. Notice how we pronounce the S on the end of nous. So in the same way, E functions like a vowel. So pronunciation-wise, you'd have nous y allons. You'd have the same thing there. Something's dripping. Just one second. Oh well. So. Next thing to bear in mind, so nous y allons, vous y allez, that's how you're going to pronounce it. Next thing to bear in mind, I always stress with ne and pas that you can often drop the ne. Not grammatically correctly, but in social French it happens. I'm not drinking, je bois, je bois pas, je ne bois pas, je bois pas, okay? If you are using the ne, speak English, Luke, the negative, okay? Same as with any other vowel, like I keep saying, it functions like a vowel, even though it's a Y. You are going to drop the E of the NE. So for example, j'y vais, je n'y vais pas. You're going to join the ne to the E in the way that you would join the ne to a vowel in a verb. So j'aime, je n'aime. So there, I'm going there, j'y vais. j'y vais pas or je n'y vais pas. So the main rules I've said so far is it functions like a pronoun, and it's going to be accented like a vowel, all right, like an open mouth. That's I think so far. Next thing I want you to think about, it can be used to replace a plus a person. Now we've kind of done work a little bit like plus not plus a person, plus an object, not a person. So for example, we've done a lot of work where we swap de plus whatever comes next for en. So for example, j'ai besoin de la crème. I need the cream, the sun cream, which I do because it's ridiculously hot again. So j'ai besoin de la crème, j'en ai besoin. I'm using en instead of the de plus the cream. If you're not comfortable with that, do please email me logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com. It's all attached to the site, and I will send you the link to the video on trident verbs, and that's how we work those. But we can do the same thing with I and an a. So for example, if I had, if I had an expression that used an a, so for example, I believe in fairies, je crois aux fées, okay? I believe in them, j'y crois, okay? It's kind of less done to use e when talking about people, but if you're thinking of the concept of something, okay? So j'y crois, J apostrophe Y crois. That's even a French expression. I don't believe it. J'y crois pas. Yeah, what are you telling me? I don't believe it. So, if you had, okay, I am interested in sport. Je m'intéresse au sport, because the verb to be interested in, you'll see this in the links, is s'intéresser à quelque chose. Okay, so you've got to s'intéresser à quelque chose. So fine, you can say je m'intéresse au français, je m'intéresse à l'équitation in horse riding, je m'intéresse à la something feminine. So you're using in this verb, it happens to be reflexive as well, but you're using it with je m'intéresse à something. That's great. If you are saying I'm interested in it, swap what a, then whatever comes next, with an e. And that has to go before because it's now a pronoun. Who cares if you've already got the reflexive going on? You can drop the pronoun, you can drop the pronunciation of the reflexive pronoun down a bit. So M-E, new word Y, will become me. Yeah, T-E, T, new word Y, will become T. So me, T, si, nous-y, vous-y, si. Okay? That is what's going to happen. I keep telling you that E will work like a vowel. You've already done that. You're familiar with, I imagine, popping en after reflexives as well, because there are some reflexive pronouns in verbs that also have an en. So, je m'en, tu t'en, ils sont, nous nous en, vous vous en, ils sont. So you are used to sticking another pronoun before we get anywhere near the verb. So just say those with me. Je me, je m'en, je m'y. Yeah, but where you're saying I, myself, to it. Okay, je m'y, tu te, so just the basic you and the pronoun. Tu te, tu t'en, tu t'y. Il se, or elle se, il se, or on se, il se, ils sont, ils s'y. Nous, 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 nous en, not nous, nous, remember nous, nous would be naked, so nous, 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 nous en, nous, nous y, okay? Or on s'y. Vous, 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 vous en, vous, vous y. Okay, ils sont, merde, ils se, ils sont, ils s'y. So yes, so for example, you're interested in French, why not? Tu t'intéresses au français, tu t'y intéresses. Okay, so get used to using it with the reflexive. So basically what we're saying is some reflexive verbs are just reflexive, some reflexive verbs will also have a de on the end of them. Because a basic reflexive verb is just something, pronominal verb is it's doing it something pronominal, meaning with pronouns. It's doing something to itself. But you can, so for example, I look after you, je m'occupe de toi. So it's doing it reflexively to me, then it's going across to you. We don't have that in English, but we're in a different language. So I'm interested in sport, I interest myself to the sport. So I, myself to it, interest. So we need to be able to use E in these incredibly interesting ways. Okay, so that was something I wanted to talk about, which is not quite so much in these links. So let's have a little look at some of the links and let's talk about what's on them. So let's have a look. What has Lawless got? Lawless, fantastic grammatician. Now, the point is, any of these websites, they're great. They are great websites. And by all means, I hope you're familiar with them anyway and use them as resources. But what do I try and do differently on this channel is give you a sound system that will work for you and make it so that your mouth gets familiar. So please, for the love of God, can you not just read this stuff? Can you get it in your mouth, right? So let's just resume what she's got. So E, an adverbial pronoun, so it can replace a place or the object of the preposition à, okay, which is what we've already said. Most commonly equivalent to the word there. I'm sure she wouldn't mind me reading this because I'm telling you to go to her grammar, her website, which she'll be happy about. But it can also be replaced by it. So it's not always a there, that's the point. J'y crois pas, I don't believe it. It's not a there, it's not always said like there in English. So we're going to the beach, Alex is waiting for us there, nous allons à la plage, Alex nous y attend. Notice the link on that one. Okay, so this is the Lawless French, this is the first link I will place underneath. The work will be done, you can count on it. Le travail sera terminé, tu peux y compter. So some expressions were used like an à there if it was to go in the other way around. So you can say compter sur to count on, but you can count on that thing. So just get those in your mouth. So it will replace a place. So I want to return to France. I want to go back to France. I was there last year. Je veux retourner en France. J'y étais l'année dernière. Now that's an interesting one because a lot of beginners with E think it's got to be a verb about going to the place. Whereas I was there, you're describing being in the place. So it's not just j'y vais. You know, it could be j'y étais, okay? He's at the doctor's, he goes there on Tuesdays, il est chez le médecin, il y va le mardi, fine, okay? Now, E is also used in implied places where you know what the thing is referring to. As I've said on many an occasion, all pronouns are useless if you don't know what they're referring to. If you entered a conversation with me and my friend and I said, well, do it then, you'd be like, well, what's the it? Or if I said, well, do you want me to buy some? You'd be like, well, what's the some? So we have expressions where we know what the place is referring to. So for example, restez-y or restez if you wanted to, although less common, is stay there. Okay? Now you will have heard some of these expressions with there used in them. Allez-y, yeah, vas-y, go there, or do it. It's kind of like go towards this thing. Allez-y, vas-y, let's go there. You know, on y va, the expression on y va, we're going there. Okay, you've heard quite a few of these. So, looking a little bit like I said myself earlier, when you use E instead of an object that would come after the word à. So for example, I think about your decision, I think about it all the time. Je pense à ta décision, j'y pense tout le temps. Because the other way round, what do you think of France? Qu'est-ce que tu penses de la France? Penser de, opinion. Thinking of it like, is de, like opinion. But if it just comes into your head, I was thinking of it, penser à, penser à. So I'm thinking of you, je pense à toi, for example. So I think about it all the time. It's not like, opinion. It's just, it goes through my head. Another way you might like to think about it is de is a longer preposition than e by one letter. So big ruminating, thinking about will be a de, and just popping through your head will be an e. So I think about it, j'y pense. Yeah, or I thought about it, j'y ai pensé. Or oh merde, putain, j'y ai même pas pensé. I didn't even think about it. Je n'y ai même pas pensé. You can do that with or without the swearing. So, répondre à quelque chose, to respond. So, répondez au téléphone, répondez-y, like respond to it, okay? Okay. Those are there. Lovely, lovely. We've then got what else have we got? Let's use this. Yes, so we've then got French today. which says pretty much the same thing. I always think it's useful to compare websites. The French pronoun I replaces a place. So je vais à Paris, j'y vais. Je vais en France, j'y vais. Je vais au Japon, masculine country. So au, if you don't understand why countries are au or en respectively, do drop me the email. I will send you the link on how to do countries. So it also replaces a thing, never a person, introduced by a, o, alle, or alla. Now you don't need to remember that list. You just need to think